Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. So we got a brand new archetype debuting from Doom of Dimensions, and there's no more fitting name than what this archetype is named right when we're talking about this set. We're going to talk about Doom Z. So Doom Z is a new archetype. It is part of the Artmage lore. They seem to be like antithesis monsters that are faced against Menace the Pure. I think it comes to no surprise. Once Artmages just got revealed as an archetype, we knew it was going to be the flagship archetype of the set. We knew there was going to be a lore-intensive archetype, and they were going to be seeking out like other archetypes that are going to be related to it. Before we talk about Doom 5, let's talk about Menace again, real quick. So if you remember Menace and you remember the Artmages, the way Menace is worded, it was given that we were going to receive other power patron monsters, and that will be the case very soon. But more so, I want to talk about these two new cards. I'll talk real quick over them. Blood Pact specials an Artmage from your deck if your opponent controls more monsters than you do. Turbulence reborns an opponent's monster by bouncing an Artmage you control. Both Blood Pact and Turbulence have the graveyard effect, that if they are sent to the graveyard for the activation of like the Academy, they both can grab the different perspective spell or trap. If you send the trap, you can add any Artmage spell. If you send the spell, you can add any Artmage trap from graveyard or banishment to your hand. So these two cards are not that great. However, we needed more fodder for the Artmage Academy. One thing about this archetype is like it felt like it was like a one-trick pony. Basically, you just wanted to spam out all your Artmages, and after all your Artmages were done and over with, you just didn't have anything else to just keep the grind game. You were just focusing on your Artmages, on the Artmage monsters themselves to recycle back your resources. These two cards are good in the sense that you now have more tools to fight against your opponent, whether you're going second or if you, for example, you are now starting a grind game with your opponent, then you just start using these cards. Now, if you look at the Artmage movement spell, you see how there's a Doom Z monster here, like in the artwork. Let's talk about them. So Doom Z is an archetype that composes of Dark Dragons and Wind Machines. All the Dark Dragons focus on self-destructing themselves in order to spawn out other monsters, and they also have the ability to quick XYZ into the machines as long as they share the level of the Doom Z monsters themselves. Doom Z 5 adds a Doom Z monster. Doom Z 7 sets a Doom Z spell trap. Doom Z 0 pops a Doom Z card in order to summon itself, and then equip any equipped spell from your deck. We'll talk about irrelevant equipped spells very soon. Doom Z Raider pops a Doom Z in order to special or add a Doom Z monster. Doom Z Command gives XYZ monster targeting protection, and it also gives them the quick effect to destroy one face-up card you control, which is relevant for all the Doom Zs, in order to just like gain extra attack to your monster. Take note, since this is a quick effect, this can be done in the damage step, since it's a level / attack modulating effect. Okay, now that we're up to date, let's talk about the Doom Z trap. So the Doom Z trap reads, Target one Doom Z XYZ monster you control, equip this card as an equip card to it. Your opponent cannot add cards from the deck to your hand except by drawing them. Floodgate. Riveting. If this card's destroyed by a card effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field, equip one Doom Z monster from your deck to that Doom Z. You can only use each effect once per turn. Alright, let's read the XYZs real quick. We got Doom Z Brave the Arcturus. I wonder who's that in the picture. Surely it can't be Menace the Pure, right? If this card special summon, destroy one Doom Z card from your hand or face-up field, then you can destroy one monster on the field. This does not target. Very important. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, well, it has a Doom Z monster or Menace as material. Okay, yep. You can add to your hand or send to the graveyard one equip spell from your deck. You can only use each effect of Doom Z Break the Arcturus once per turn. This card's really cool. Basically, the gimmick behind the Doom Zs is they're all going to be very, very oppressive. Let's read the other Doom Z monster before I talk about like Doom Z in general and talk about this card. You got Doom Z and Drastrius. The first time this card will be destroyed by battle or card effect. Each turn it is not destroyed. You can only use each of the following effects of Doom Z and Drastrius once per turn. If this card is XYZ summoned, you can equip one other face-up monster on the field to it. This also doesn't target. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field or in the graveyard, you can detach menace material from this card, negate that effect, then you can equip one face-up monster your opponent controls to this card. Alright. So, it's very clear that the gimmick behind Doom Z is just to keep these monsters on the board, and whenever your opponent tries to play the game, you just quick XYZ into the machine equivalents and just start interrupting your opponent with the Doom Zs once they are summoned. Like Drastia is meant to make Drastrius, and the other two are meant to make the Arcturus. But wait, why does this mention Menace the Pure? What does Menace the Pure have to do with the Arcturus? I guess we will figure that out in a second. Alright, so another thing to mention. You look at all these machine XYZs. All the Doom Z's can summon any machine XYZ as long as their levels match. Obviously, these are level 4, so the main monsters that you'll be summoning is probably going to be the Arcturus. But there is a world where you can summon Super Quantum Mech Beast Ouroboros. Remember where I talked about this deck? Yeah, this is now relevant. There is a card that manipulates levels, so there are ways for you to get to all these other XYZs. Out of all these ones, I think Interblastmere is like the best one. But obviously, the Arcturus is kind of better than all the other ones. And the Arcturus is kind of more synergistic with the archetype, so these are the main two that you will be summoning. Now, as you can see, this is the gimmick behind the archetype. You're just going to equip and you're going to attach whatever is equipped to your XYZs, and this just gives them extra materials. Now, what are other equip spells that you can use? Like, for example, for Drastia's effect or the Arcturus effect? Well, we have a couple. Meta Silver Armor is a really cool one. For those who don't know, this card is really, really old. This card came out in Metal Raiders, and what this card does is it prevents your opponent to activate anything that cannot target whatever is equipped to meta silver armor. You got Angel's Ring. This card can only be equipped to a monster that's already been equipped, which is not hard in Doom Z. These monsters know how to equip themselves. And if you haven't seen this card from Infernoble format, this is a soft negate for your opponent's first spell card. Take note, this effect does not activate, so this negates whatever your opponent tries to activate, including cards that cannot be responded, like Super Polymerization, XYZ Encore, or Anti-Magic Arrows, for example. You got the Bamboo Swords. Whenever we think about equip spells, we have to think about Bamboo Swords. Like, this is a very funny gimmick. Will this be relevant? I'm not sure, but Bamboo Swords historically have been known to be good with other equipped monster, like archetypes or sub-archetypes. Then we have White Veil. White Veil is a really cool one because White Veil is a very offensive one that just is used against back row decks. Obviously, the best equipped spell that you'll be using is probably going to be X-Ray's Doom Z Command. But that's not to say that there are no other equipped spells that you can use. Here are some of the more gimmicky ones. You can ignore the ninja one that just flew by for a second. All the Doom Z's are machines, so you can use Air Cracking Storm. I don't know whether or not you'll be using this card, but there is a monster you can equip to Kraken Storm that can just end your opponent's turn. Like, it could basically win you the game. You'll see that monster in a bit. It is kind of gimmicky, but so you're probably not gonna use this. More Mirror Shield, in case you just need to run over specific monsters. Luna Light Tiger. Yeah. Like, maybe Taurus monsters can be run over with this deck because now you have access to a card that just beats over them. If you ever want to play this alongside Mikankos, you can. Like, this is a Mikanko starter. And Mikanko are getting more support in the future. So, who knows? Maybe there's a world where you can just play this as a hybrid. Alright. So, now let's talk about Medius again. So, you know how Medius has a power, has the ability to summon a power patron? We now have a new power patron. This is Power Patron Machine Doom Z. So, similar to the Artmage Power Patron, this one prevents summons from the extra deck, except XYZs, while this card's on the field. You can target one other effect monster you control and special summon from your extra deck one Doom Z monster or Jupiter Power Patron of Destruction with a rank equal to the level of the monster you control by using it as material. This is treated as an XYZ summon, and if you do, equip this card you control to it. Now you're understanding why the equipping is so relevant with other cards. Like, with the Doom Z's all equipping themselves, there's a world where, you'll see that Angelic Ring be on your monster that's already equipped to this card, and it's just going to be very annoying for your opponent to deal with. If this card is destroyed, you can add one Doom Z card from your deck to your hand. So this is just another Doom Z monster you can pop with the Doom Z Raider. Or you can pop it with other Doom Z cards. This is the best one to pop because this gets you to any Doom Z. It can get you to all your monsters, it can get you to your spell cards, it can get you to Dastria. Doom Z Destruction is already a really oppressive floodgate. So, yeah. Now, who is Jupiter, the Power Patron of Destruction? We haven't showed that card yet, right? It's this guy right here. So this is a rank 10 monster. Once per turn, you can also XYZ summon Jupiter Power Patron of Destruction by using a monster you control equipped with 3 or more equipped cards. Not that easy to summon. Gains 3000 attack while it has an XYZ monster's material. If this card is XYZ summoned, equip any number of appropriate equipped spells from your graveyard to it. Once per turn, you detach one material from this card, special summon one Doomsday monster from your graveyard, then you can destroy one card on the field. Kinda funny that they have this effect. Basically this card is meant to just bring back your Doomsdays and just pop themselves and pop those Doomsdays. Now, this card's level 10. None of the Doomsdays are level 10. Menace is not level 10. How are we summoning this if we don't have that many equip spells? Remember Theo Realize? This is a card back from the Artmage era. This is one of those gimmicky cards that you can use to spawn out Menace the Pure. We now have a new version of it. This is Theo Realize Overdrive. So, Theo Realize Overdrive reads, target one Menace the Pure in your graveyard or banishment, special summon it. Very simple, right? So very similar how this one gets you to Menace by just sending it to the graveyard. This one just grabs it back from graveyard or banishment, and it is a quick play spell, so it is relevant. It's relevant for Menace the Pure's effect. Now, during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one face-up monster you control, and declare a level from 1 to 10. Its level becomes the declared level until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Theo Realize Overdrive once per turn. So, yeah, this is how we're summoning Power Jupiter. There has to be other easy ways to summon this, right?
Registrar monsters. New deck profile coming soon.
Yeah, this is basically it. Like, this is the gimmick behind the deck. What do I think about this archetype so far? I think these cards are really cool. I think this card is going to be a problem. Just this gimmick alone, and like, imagine you having to deal with an untargetable monster that is just colossaling your opponent from like adding cards, and it's really hard to out. And not only that, the monster itself can just like start taking your opponent's monsters, and it's also a monster negate. This is not easy to deal with. Going second, this deck has a lot of pushing power as well, because this pops out a monster without targeting, this takes a monster without targeting, this has destruction protection, this gives targeting protection. All these monsters activate upon being destroyed, so stuff like, for example, Ryo Detonator doesn't really matter to you. Yeah. I think this is really cool. We'll probably see these monsters do something in the OCG once they debut. And who knows, maybe the Artmage monsters are going to fight them back properly. But until then, keep practicing and keep dueling.